Hi everyone, I'm Mel and welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. So today we've got a Q&A and a woman, Mary Beth, on my Facebook page, she asked this, and what she says is, I'm still following the cycle and want to know how to get done with the relationship. He doesn't live with me, but the control is very much there, and oh, how I wish it weren't. And Mary Beth went on in the thread to say that this relationship had been going on for 11 years. And then two other ladies, Sian and Jada, they also answered that part of the thread, and they said that this is what's going on for them and they feel helpless and powerless and hooked in. And it's been 5 years for both of those ladies. This is what I want you to understand, ladies and people listening to this. When we're trying to solve narcissistic abuse at the same level that it came into our life and we got enmeshed in it, we can't solve it. And I mean this about being in our logical mind, not yet self-partnered in our body, and not making the unconscious wounds conscious. Because what is absolutely going on here is that there is a young, unhealed, underdeveloped pattern within ourselves that the narcissist represents, that the narcissists use through the way that they attack us and hook us, that we're in the fray trying to get the narcissist to do it differently. In other words, we're trying to solve the history of our childhood wounds through a person who represents our childhood wounds. And it just doesn't work. And this is how life works. Life is really showing us what's unconscious, what's unhealed via people and situations. And if we're not getting it and we're not healing it, we can't get out of it. Or if we do get out of it physically, we're still going to be in it emotionally and mentally, which sadly is the case for most narcissistic abuse recovery victims, because they're not making the unconscious conscious. So I want to give you a really simple example. I talk about this example in my webinar sometimes, and this was to do with a lady who is a NARC member, and she was hooked incredibly badly with the narcissist that she was still living with, trying to break free. But you know, where he would get her every time was he would persecute her, he would smear her, and he was turning family members against her, he was turning her own children against her. And she was incensed by this, and she was really triggered, and she kept saying, why is he doing this to me? Why does he treat me like this? So we said to her, stop trying to work this out through your mind, because it equals how to lose. Get in your body, go to module 4 in NARP, which is all about the injustices, track it through your body, find the original wound, and then you're going to be able to release it out of your body, bring in the source replacement, and you're not going to be triggered. You're not going to be hooked anymore. You're going to be freed from that. He won't be able to get you on that anymore. So that's exactly what she did. And when she reported back about what that was, she was astounded and so relieved, because this was an event that she hadn't consciously remembered. Logically, she'd forgotten all about it. But in her body, in her subconscious, it remembers everything. It knows everything. And when she tracked that trigger of being persecuted and smeared and set up like that, she went into her body and asked, how old is this? The answer that she got was 5. She went into that wound inside her body and said, what is this about? And what came was all of these memories. And what it was a scene of her mother speaking to her when her father left. And her mother said to her, he left us because you're a really bad, ugly girl. That's why he left. Her mother was a narcissist. And what had happened is, ever since, that wound had been in her body, saying the child belief, it's not that she didn't have the sophistication at 5 years of age, none of us did, to look at mum and go, mum, you're a narcissist, this is your stuff, you're actually trying to scapegoat me, I'm not taking that on. Now, as a 5-year-old, we didn't have that sort of gateway or filter or sophistication. She had taken on that wound as a 5-year-old, and what that wound meant is, it's my fault. Everything that happens is my fault. Everything bad that happens is my fault. People not being well or leaving or not happy is my fault. So this was her wound. And this is exactly what her narcissistic husband could play and hurt and hook her with. So what was being triggered was that 5-year-old that was not just terrorized about dad leaving, but was also terrorized about feeling that incredible shame and that scapegoating and that horrendous pain. So when she up-leveled that wound and let it out of her body and then brought in the source replacement on that, an adult showed up in her being into these situations with her husband. It was no longer the 5-year-old. She had made the unconscious conscious and healed it. So an adult was showing up saying, oh, sorry, I know who I am. I'm not buying into it. I know you're trying to hook me. It's not my stuff. This is a projection of you and everything you do. And then what happened? Wound one by one by one, she was able to unhook from him, have no obsession, no going back, no trying to force to be accountable, no trying to resolve, no prescribing, no lecturing, no being enmeshed. Detach, you're not a match for me. I'm really uninspired. You're not doing it for me anymore. And she was able to break away, start settlement proceedings, rebuild her life. And what I want you to understand as well is that when we make the unconscious conscious and we heal what it is that's hooking us in, and I promise you 3 ladies and everybody listening, that if you're still hooked in, it's because there is a wound involved that you are regressing back to as a child, as a helpless, powerless state, trying to get this person to be the parent and fix it for you, which is never going to happen. And life's going to keep turning up the volume with this wound being hammered into your being until you say, I got to stop trying to fix and prescribe and make you change. I've got to come into my body and I need to heal this. It's the only way. So I want you 3 ladies and other people listening, stop going on abuse forums, stop talking about the narcissist, stop even banding together and saying, oh, thank goodness, there's somebody else who's addicted and is in much pain as me, and we're all in this together. Stop it. Because not only are you keeping yourself stuck in it, you're also encouraging other people to look at simply the symptom and never get to the cause and never make the unconscious conscious and never free yourself and never help others get free. So I really hope this has helped you. And what I would really love you to do is to join me in one of my 3 Keys webinar, where you can understand and deeply go through the quantum freedom healing process to come back into your body, to self-partner, and to make the unconscious conscious and to heal it, to release it, to replace it, so that you can show up as an adult that's healed. And then you won't be hooked in. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love you to comment and be part of the Thriver Revolution, which is changing the world in the way that we have been trying to heal from abuse. And also too, I'd love you to subscribe so that you get all of my videos as they come out. And if you would like to get my new life starter kit, which is totally free and it's got a ton of resources in it to help you, all you need to do is go to my website, which is melanietonyevans.com. And please know that no matter what you've been through, and no matter how hard it's been, and no matter how old you are, and no matter what you've lost, you can turn all of this around. You're meant to. We're all meant to. We're all meant to evolve. So keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Okay, so until the next video, lots of love and bye-bye.